Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Nitsa and this is our podcast number 166. Today I have some finished makes to share with you and boy they are so super cute. Well, I think so anyway. I have some whips that I want to share with you as well. We're going to talk about our Build a Blanket Cal 2026 and I will be letting you know how I'm going to announce the winner to our little pattern giveaway. So I do have my trusty clipboard here. I have a few things on here that I want to share with you, including some new patterns that I've purchased, and I'm so excited to be making those as well. So as always, I need my clipboard and my marker, and I always try to stay on track when I'm doing that. So let's start off with Pokemon. Now, as we know, Pokemon have been around for a very long time. This is actually their 30-year anniversary when the show first began. And the merchandise is crazy. And there are so many wonderful patterns out there. And the patterns I want to show you, I want to give a huge shout out to our friend Tihana at Oh So Stitched, because I could not wait for her to review the patterns by Crafted for Comfort. And I wanted to know what size they were. I didn't want them to be big plushies or the little tiny ones, because I do have patterns for those. And these are the perfect in-between size. Now I have made 1, 2, 3, and I have one that is almost finished, and I've saved that one to show you some of the details in it that sometimes you don't quite see when you see the finished product in the face shaping. And also I've been making some safety eyes. Very, very basic. Anyone can do them this way, but I thought it was a fun way to add a little bit of, more personality to these plushies, that it was closer to the real deal. Now, I am trying to use a lot of my blanket yarn that I have in stock, including in stash, including a lot of the Aldi yarn that I bought. So some of the colors may not be true to a Pokemon, but I thought, or I did them as close to, of course, but I thought that way I could keep the price down, because I've resigned myself to the fact that 99.99% I will not be making it into the Oz Comic Con this year, because as I mentioned before, friends that are trying and have been trying for the last few years haven't made it in, and I thought, well, that's okay, because I reached out to our local council next to me, which is the council that I work in, and they're putting the big street festival on once again in September this year, and I have asked to be able to apply for a stall. So stay tuned for that, because hopefully I will definitely get into that one, because it would be just such a shame to have all these wonderful makes hanging around, even some of the leftovers from the convention I did recently, Collect Fest. There are still a few items there that I'm sure I'll be able to take with me. So without any further ado, let's get on to these Pokemon. So the very first one I'm going to show you, I can't even pronounce the name, but that's okay. I'm going to show you the pattern. So all of the Pokemon that I'm going to show you today are created by Crafted for Comfort. And these are wonderful, wonderful patterns. Very well written. There is a very new technique how to make the feet for all of them. And the great thing is that when you've made one, they're all very similar in the body shape. You just add ears and tails and the coloring, of course, to change the way they look. Now, this one is probably the most different one from all of them, but that's his name there. And let me show him to you. Now, I think he's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that guy. How chubby is he? Up close, you can see his big eyes. Now, for all of these plushies, or I should say the Pokemon, I've been using 25mm safety eyes. Look at him. Oh my gosh. He is totally no-sew. Even these bits, guys. You crochet them first and then you crochet them in the round. There is a little bit of embroidery. Excuse me, but that was a lot of fun. That wasn't hard at all, because as you can see, they're basically triangle shapes, so there's no circles and things like that. Now for this guy here, I did use my Aldi, I don't have the yellow, but that's okay. I did use my Aldi baby yarn, which was from the 2026 collection. Now I do have a video where I compare 2025 and 2026 Aldi yarn, and I will pop that in the description box. I have to say that I got quite a bit of this yarn, and at $1.89 a ball, it makes it a very economical make in the end, because you're just charging for your time. Now I am a very slow crocheter, as we all know, and I couldn't tell you how long this took, because I made it over a space of a few days, because I was making other things as well but I would say at a minimum for me, this would be like 3 hours worth of work. But of course you can't charge that amount of money. It's not people's fault that I crochet so slow. So I will be looking at about $35 to $40, I'm guessing, for these. But we'll talk about those prices if and when the time comes that I have an actual market to put them towards. So this was the first one that I made, and I really enjoyed making him. So then the second one that I made, which I thought was super cute, and I've always liked this character, is Squirtle, or should we say not Squirtle. So he's basically a little turtle, and he has a shell and everything. So look at this guy here. There's his little face. Once again, you start from the bottom. No, you start from the top and you crochet your way down. The arms, you do crochet them first and then you crochet them in later. There is a little bit of sewing with the tail, including curving it, and the shell. So you sew the shell on the back, and then the tail is crocheted in, but you do attach it to the shell there. But he is so super cute. Now, as you can see, his feet are sewn upwards towards the body. And this one, we were asked to leave them as is, just dangling for the different look. I quite like this look too. Not that it takes any time at all to stitch them on there. So this one and this one took about the same amount of time for me. So let's not talk about time because, as we've said, everyone crochets at a different rate. And then I just had to make this guy here. I have never made an Umbreon. And the fun thing about this guy, he has red eyes. Now, I have been using my safety eyes with the glitter discs in them for the other two that you saw. But for this one, I had the fun task of just painting my own. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. But I think the color of the eyes makes this guy as well. Now, he is totally no sew other than the ears. So the tail is crocheted in and the arms. I haven't sewn his feet up. The pattern says to do so, but I'm still not convinced that you have to. We'll see how that goes. Now, the trickiest part for me with this one, of course, was the surface crocheting of the circle. And on the arms, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. But he's got little fluffs on him. But the ears are sewn on. So he turned out, I think, really, really cute. And up close, those eyes look great. Definitely the bigger size eyes is what makes these plushies pop. And then, but that one was made using blanket yarn from my Millions. So I really don't know what it is other than I'm guessing it's maybe Bernat blanket yarn. No one can really tell though. And then next I started to make Charmander. Now this is the one that I haven't completed because I want to show him up close to you and to tell you a little bit about his belly patch, and then I'm going to show you the eyes that I literally painted today. I'm so excited. So here he is here, Charmander. Now I went with the nectarine color from Aldi, which is this one here. It's actually a little bit darker in real life, I think. And then I first made the belly patch in the cream, but then I went for the yellow. And the reason being is that most of the artwork, like the photos and pictures that I saw on Google, were the yellow belly patch. And also I have made it slightly smaller. So I've been using a 7mm hook for all of these to crochet them. But this belly patch was going to be too big when I show you the actual plushie. So I went down 0.5 millimeter. So, you know, the 7mm hook is what I've used for all of the plushies here today. And then I went down to the 6.5 for this, and it's the perfect size. So don't be afraid to tweak it your way if you need to, guys. We all know that, but that's just a little reminder. And here he is here, unfinished. But look at the great shaping in the face. Can you see that, guys? He's even got cheeks. Now, on the tail, it doesn't show it on the pattern, but the one that I've made before, the smaller one, Charmander actually has fire coming out of his tail. And the last time I used some of this faux fur yarn from Motivera, and I did use this color here, but now I've got some red yarn in my stash. So I'm not quite sure which one I'll put on. But you'll be able to see that in my monthly makes video when I actually, you know, work out what I'm going to put on it. So I'm definitely going to add some of the faux fur here. And before I completely, like, he's got a round head, so we don't have much more to go for this one to be finished. And then sew on the belly patch, of course. So here it is here. So that will fit perfectly when you put it. Otherwise, the other one was just that little bit too big, guys. I'm sure you'll agree with me that this one looks better when it's going to be on. So let me show you that colour eyes that I've got for him. In the photo, it says to use blue. And I have seen photos on, as I said, Google, which I'll share with you now, where the eyes are more, they're not green, they're not blue, they're more like a in-between colour. Let me show you here. So what's that, like a turquoise? Well, I've got a great collection of nail polishes, guys, because I don't know about you. Look at all these colours. And what I've tried to get, oops, now I purchased these colours because I wanted to paint safety eyes. And I don't know about you, is where I was going with the question before, but when I start a new craft, I want all the supplies. Lucky I limited myself to about, I don't know, 15 different colors. I've got 4 over there to show you too. But I wanted to get colors like the nice brownie colors, some nice purples, of course, oranges, and different types of yellows and greens, some different blues to just the glitter discs that we get. They're nice colors there. And I also bought 3 different types of glitter. Some chunkier than the others and some finer. So I used these 2 colors here. So I used a glitter and just a normal red for Umbreon's colored eyes. And I did put a little reel out on Instagram if anyone watched that, just the process. And for the ones that I'm going to use for this guy here, I used these 2 colors here. Just bought these at the chemist, nothing flash, but here they are here ready to be popped in. How good do they look? Can you see them? I'm trying to hold them as best as I can. There we go there. So they're not the green that you get, well, in the glitter discs that I had. They're a little bit darker and deeper. So I thought that I would enjoy putting those into this plushie and maybe make it pop a little bit more. And it was very cost effective because I just buy my eyes from Amazon. Well, this set was from Amazon, and these are the clear 25mm ones so that you can actually paint them, even though I do have the ones with the glitter disc. So that was actually a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to finishing this one. Now, in the collection, there are, I think, another maybe 6. Let me show them to you. Okay, because I really do want to make them all. I've got them. Oops. Where are they, guys? I've got so many patterns here to show you. Okay, here they are here. So I want to make so they're all not Mew. So they're not the Pokemon. So there's Mew. I'm going to make this one in pink and light blue, I thought, in the Aldi yarn. I don't have either of those. Oh, here, that's the light blue, because Mew does come in the 2 colors. I'm trying to educate myself all things Pokemon, even though I do tap into my son and my stepson a lot to find these things out. Now, this one is not Jolteon. I might have to source a brighter yellow. We'll see how we go for that one. Then we have Bulbasaur. I'm going to use greens for him, probably like that minty green. And then we have Not Eevee, very popular. I'm trying not to use like my Elise Voluto yarns, even though that's like probably the closest colors, because I want to keep the prices down for these. Not that I'm stingy, I'm just trying to think, you know, be business savvy. And then we have Not Pikachu. So that's a definite must. So let's pop these patterns out of the way, because now you've seen them, I don't want to get all confused with those. So after I finished I started my week of making Pokemon, which was the previous week, because today's the 14th of May, 2026. I neglected to tell you that. I really wanted to try some smaller makes, I was thinking, because now my mind's going to the fact that I'm going to do a local market, not a huge convention, trying to keep things smaller, more, you know, affordable for the local families and children. And then I discovered these guys here. I am in love with these birds. Now, these are all by Madeline Mayco. So I think she's gone back to that name now. So if you're not familiar with Madeline Mayco, I don't know where you've been. I think everybody that's got a crochet YouTube channel has shown at least one of her patterns. I think I own about 99% of them now. She has a huge sale currently going on as well. And even when the patterns aren't on sale, they're amazing prices. So this is a little pack of about 10 different little birds, including the 5 that I made here, and I would like to make them all. There is also like an eagle. I reckon I could make a pigeon out of one of those, because you just change the colors. It's basically the same body with just a few different little features, and it changes the bird completely. There's also like I can't even think of the names right now. I can see the eagle there. Oh, there's this one here that I think would be very popular, which is a cardinal. And of course, there's a whole variety of other birds in here. So let me pop them on the floor and let me show you these guys. I absolutely love them. So this is the very first one, and she calls this either a chick or a duck. And these eyes, guys, I'm going to show you the little pack that I've got. All of these eyes, I had purchased them, I don't even know how long ago, maybe 6 months, and I wanted 14mm eyes. And when I opened this pack up, I had no idea what size they were. So once again, my trusty safety eye tool sizer. If you don't have something similar to this, guys, I highly recommend you get it. This was actually from Temu and cost, I don't know, $5, $6, $7, $8, but it has saved me when it comes to checking out sizes of safety eyes when I don't have the, on the packaging, the number. But this is 2 packs that came in here. These are 14mm, but what I love about these is they come in all the different colors. And once again, I imagine these were very, very cheap. I have no idea what I paid for them, but I have had them in here for a little while. I haven't used the red ones yet. And there are yellow, and there are also see-through ones, you'll see them on the birds anyway. And there's a color that's almost a brown. So on this little guy here, I put yellow ones. Again, this is a no-sew pattern. I absolutely love the way she does the bobbles and then the bottom. It really makes the bobbles stand out, and it makes like they sit beautifully. So the wings are crocheted in the round, and all you do is just surface crochet the little feathers on the top. How adorable is he? So he's either a chick or a duck. It depends what you want to call him. And then I made a chicken, and I did use all of the ones that you're going to see today are all made once again using my Aldi baby yarn in all the different colors, except for one which I will talk about in a moment. Now look at this guy here. So here's a little chicken. I did use the ivory color. You can make him in white, of course, or any color you choose to. And I did use, let me grab it, this great faux fur red yarn for his comb. Now this one I actually bought on Amazon, and I'll show you here it is here. It wasn't cheap to buy on Amazon. I got 2 balls for, I'm trying to remember now. I don't want to tell you a lie, but at least like $25 or maybe a little bit more. But it is beautiful. You don't have to use very much, and it is super, super soft. I enjoyed working with this one. Let's get all the fluffs off him. So there's our little chicken. I thought he was super cute. And then I made a budgie. Now I wonder if I should have put white on him. But anyway, he is so cute. Look at his little embroidery. So basically, once again, the exact same pattern. They look like little potatoes when you're making them without their little feathers on their head. But these are all crocheted in. Once again, how great do those bobbles look with a flatter bottom? Fluffs everywhere. So here's a little budgie. I thought a little white and blue version would be cute as well. And then I made a little penguin. Now, let's talk about this penguin and the colors. I absolutely love, love, love purple, as we all know. And this very pale lilac color was the one that I bought at Aldi. And I really wanted to use it, but I wasn't thinking that it wasn't going to really show up very well. So let's take his little beanie off so you can see what a little potato looks like. But he is a little penguin and he is super cute, and he's got the clear eyes that I was talking about. So this is what our little bald penguin looks like. And as you can see up close, you can slightly see that that's white, but unfortunately the contrast isn't as good as it should be. But I don't really mind. I think he's gorgeous. But he really did need an accessory in the form of a beanie, because let's be real, it's very cold where he lives. And wait till you see, which you've already seen, the giant pom-pom to go with it. Now, Steve and I had a little giggle because this pom-pom was twice the size, and I did so much trimming on it. I was covered in the fluffs. But I thought he made him look even cuter and even quirkier with a pom-pom this size. So then I stopped trimming it. Now, the yarn that I used to make his little beanie, I absolutely love this yarn, and I've used it for, you know, people beanies, is this Moda Vera Monkey Twist. And I thought with all the purples and that in this skein of yarn, it would match his colouring perfectly. So let me pop him back here with his friends. Okay, so that is they're all the birds that I made. But as I said, so there's, oh no, what am I saying, guys? There's one more bird. That's my life story. Just wait, but wait, there's one more. So I had to make a flamingo. Now, I didn't make her the way that she's made in the actual pattern. I just went a little bit rogue, but please forgive me. I think I did a great job. Now, in the pattern, she has two pink. She has light pink and dark pink. But when I saw photos of flamingos, you can't, you know, they are one color as well. So I did use my mill ends, which I believe is Bernat Mystical. This yarn is so soft, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. And for the little legs, I didn't do bobbles. I opted to just, you know, like when you crochet leggy froggies, you just crochet out some chains, do the little toes, and then crochet back in. Now, I single crochet back to the body. I used 7mm hook for her, but I did use a 6mm hook. I went right down to a 6mm hook for the legs, and I did use a thinner yarn, which in the form the Jolly and Joy Velour. I just thought, you know, it'd look nicer than having chunkier legs. And I put the black on the top here because I just thought it would be complementing it nicely. But look at her eyelashes, guys. She's got fluffs all over them. I just love her. Now, those safety eyelashes, let me pop her over here with all her friends, came in a pack that you can use with all of your safety eyes. So they come in different sizes. So depending on the safety eye that you use, there's giant ones here and there's smaller ones like I used. So basically it goes between the eyeball, the front bit. This goes then in the middle, and then you have the clip at the back. So you just sit this behind the safety eye. So let's go back so I can show you. So basically you have your eye, then you pop the eyelashes here in between the plushie and the eye, and then you have your own eyelashes. So you don't have to buy them separately. They have a variety of sizes in here. There's about 5 sizes, so you can match them up from your smallest safety eyes to your largest. So that was actually a really good purchase, I thought, because I really do enjoy putting eyelashes on my on my plushies, as we all know. So we do have about, like I said, maybe another 7 or 6 to make birds in there. I may not make them all, but I would definitely like to make some more. Okay, so I really need to keep moving because I'm getting a little bit excited. I haven't done a podcast for so long, guys. Now, once again, going back to let's make some smaller, more affordable items. I just made some leggy frogs. Now, I love leggy frogs. For me, they're, you know, like I make them when I'm just wanting to relax at the end of the night. So I did make 2 larger ones, which are going off to their forever home this weekend. We're visiting some friends and they've got 2 little people in their lives. And I did make a 3rd one in the rainbow color, which has already gone to its forever home. But in here, I have 9.5 because I've got to finish one. So I just wanted 10 for this market. But look at the size difference, guys, that I made them. So they are pretty much 2/3 of the size of this one. So, you know, you could probably sell these for like $15 or something like that, $10. Now, they all have embroidered eyes on them. You can't really see them on that, but I did make 2 of each color. Some were in the burnout mystical, some were in the Aldi yarn, like this is the Aldi yarn. How cute are these guys, seriously. Some are in that Lion brand yarn that I purchased last year. This is that, I love this color, the rainbow color. And I do have 1.5, so I've just got to make another half of the velour yarn that we did buy at Spotlight, which I don't think is available to us anymore, but that's fine. I've got plenty of that to go. Now, next. So I do have a work in progress for you, and I'm finding it a little bit tricky with this pattern. I don't think that I chose the right color. So when I make the next few, I'm going to change my colorway completely. So by now you would have seen hundreds of these because nearly everybody has made a sleeping dragon. And of course I had to as well because they are super cute, let's be real. And the pattern is by Nooks Hooks, as we all know. So a Nooks pattern. There is also a fox, I think a sleeping fox. I don't have that pattern. But look how beautiful they look in these colors. I don't think I'm going to theme these to dragons, proper dragons. I think I'm just going to make them for fun because that way I can use the Aldi yarn and things like that. But here's my little dragon. He's connected to a darning needle because I've just connected him to his tail to make him sleepy. So I used my, what I believe is, once again, Burnout Mystical yarn. I could be wrong. But he's very, very soft, very, very cute. I haven't embroidered his eyes in, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use faux fur, which I probably will, to do the spine, like the spiky bit, the spines. And I do already have his little wings ready because you crochet these first, as you've more than likely heard, or if you've made this pattern yourself, and then you crochet them in as you're doing the back bit. So he's almost finished, but I do want to get on to making some like solid colors, like pastel-y colors, or just solid brighter colors. So like 2 contrasting colors together, even if it is with or without the faux fur, although I do love the faux fur look on dragons. That's what I've predominantly done with any dragons I've made in the past. So that's it for my makes this week, both finished and not finished. So let's now talk very quickly about something that is so close to my heart, which is our Build a Blanket Cal 2026. Part 1 came out on the 3rd of May, which means this Sunday, so that was 2 Sundays ago, we are going to pull out Part 2. Now, if you don't know what that is all about, I'm going to link the playlist in the description box. There are 2 whole videos in there, and you have plenty of time to join us. Those of you that have, thank you so much. Some of you have already posted photos on Instagram at Coco's Crochet. Please continue to do so. So that's Coco's Crochet __. All that information will be, of course, in the description box. But please also take advantage of our community page here on YouTube and post your progression, or as your blanket grows, please post it there. Now, there are many exciting variations to the blanket, even though we have the same stitch and color to choose from. But remember, the color can have many different shades or versions of it, and some people have opted to do something different with their stitch. So please come along on Sunday and join us to see what I'm talking about. So please join us for that. It is so much fun. It's only for 8 weeks, which is 4 months in total. We'll be finishing in August, not October. Now, the other thing that I want to tell you is that I will be announcing the winner tonight on Instagram, and of course on our community post for our Count Stitchula, which is a beautiful prize donated to all of us for an opportunity for us to win, 1 subscriber here at Coco's Crochet, of the pattern by Reggie at J Hook Crochet. Now you can follow her on her YouTube channel. She's also on Instagram. So he turned out so super cute. You've probably seen quite a few of him here on YouTube as well, because Reggie did reach out to a few of us here on YouTube to try this awesome pattern. I love the wings. Aren't they awesome? So yeah, please stay tuned for that as well. You will be able to see a very quick reel on Instagram on the winner. I'll use the YouTube comment picker to do that, and then I'll post the winner's name on my community tab. If you're the winner, please make sure you contact me, because I will need your email so I can send it off to Reggie, and she will then in turn send you your free pattern. So other than showing you some new patterns, guys, more patterns, we're pretty much done. So as we touched on earlier, I am a huge Madeline May Co fan. I love all of her patterns. I've got fluffs everywhere, and I could not resist. Now, the first couple of patterns you're going to see is because I was in a froggy mindset, because I was crocheting the leggy froggies, and I just couldn't resist this one. This is Tad and Lily. So you get 2 in 1 basically, but I fell in love with the accessories, so I had to get this one. Again, these are all on sale currently. Here in Australia, they cost just under $2, which means all around the world they're closer to under $1 and maybe even less, because we all know that the Australian dollar is rubbish, guys, but it is what it is. And I had to make, well, I hope to make before the end of the month, this little guy here, the itty bitty froggy. And once again, talking about itty bitty things, making it, more, friendly, price friendly. This is a pack. So what I'm going to show you here, there's 4, and there is a little pig. Now, because I always use a larger hook to the one that is recommended in the pattern, I always do get a slightly bigger. Like these are, I use 7mm hook. The pattern was for 3.5mm hook. So I like the fact that I will be getting a slightly bigger plushie. Now here we have a little bee. Yes, I do have other bee patterns, but that one is super cute. Look at this little sheep. So they are something that I really want to try. And then I have been looking at this one for a while, and I don't think I've bought it before. And if I have, that's okay. It was only a couple of dollars, but I don't think I have. So it's the Scarecrow. I like her patterns with the longer legs as well, like the unicorn that I had made from her designs. Absolutely gorgeous. And I've also made the cow with the long legs. So I had to buy the little bunny. I'd like to make her in like a grey or a white with a different colour tutus. And I just had to make Dottie. Now, she's a goose, and I fell in love with her little bonnet. And I already have the larger mermaid, which I've made, but I wanted to make the baby mermaid. Once again, to be cost effective. And I fell in love with this face on this Briar bear. I've made other animals with this body from Madeline May Co, and I thought this would make a nice scrappy bear. So imagine like, I don't have them all here. I wish I had all my Aldi yarn colours here, but like, with the pink and the green colour and the light blue and the yellow, I think that it would make a really cute bear, especially if I had a nice variegated yarn to pop somewhere in there and then draw from all those colors. So they're the latest patterns that I purchased. There are quite a few patterns here, and this was all, seriously guys, under $10 for sure for all those patterns. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. As I said, it's been a while since we did a podcast, and I always get super excited. I'm sure I've left something off this list, but it is what it is. It's as good as it gets for now. I don't want to keep you here forever. I do have a cup of tea that I need to finish behind me. For all of those of you that celebrated Mother's Day, by the way, I hope you had an awesome time. We certainly did, because it was also Steve's birthday. So there were 8 of us in total that was celebrating, all our 3 children and their 3 partners, Steve and I, and it was so much fun. Once again, family, you can't beat it, right, guys? And that's what we are here, a little community, a little family, and I really do appreciate that you all take the time to come and hang out with me. Now, I hope you're all well, and until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.